Here we go. Goodness, it's windy out. All right, 102, Wednesday. Yes. This is the afternoon report instead of the noon report live. Folks, here we go. Hello, one and all. Hi there, Donna. There's Anne-Marie. Folks, tonight, again, right now, 103, yet, no, I do not have COVID. Is that even a thing anymore? No, I do not. I think it's just the allergies and also just being overtired. All right, we're live in just a moment. A lot of news, folks. My goodness, on this Wednesday. Hello, everybody. Now, everybody on FB, we will be out tonight. Yes. I'll share that later. We're live on the radio coming up in 3 minutes. Yep, Anne from Cranston. I went by her funeral service earlier. All right, let me also just check the latest now. We have big news coming out this afternoon out of Cranston, but interesting. This stuff with Harry and Meghan in the car chases, like, what are they talking about? Does anyone have any idea what they're talking about? What? Why are they racing away from? The whole thing is just bizarre. But I will be riding tonight with Mark. Friday, Cranston PD Live, 8 to 10 this Friday. 8 to 10 this Friday. Well, that Rachel Rollins is in big trouble. Good. Good, as a matter of fact. Folks, so windy out. My goodness. A minute. And we are at 106 on a very windy, my goodness, Wednesday. Look at that blue sky, but it's actually very comfortable temperatures, but this wind is just it's very, very odd. Well, folks, good afternoon. This is wow, there's even more news than I thought. This is the afternoon report. It's 106. I was we were live streaming. I was attending Cranston Police Honored. You know, this is Police Week. Various police departments around the country, around the state, are all honoring people, excuse me, that have served, lost their life, excuse me, or just passed away in the line of duty. I can't believe the amount of pollen that is out there. But anyhow, right now it is 106, and you're listening to the John DePetro Show. It's Wednesday, all day, May 17th, and this portion of the program is brought to you by PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center. Folks, now tonight with the frost, cover those plants. But PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center, they are having a fantastic season. Vegetables and herbs, annuals, perennials, hangers, 10-inch, 12-inch, moss baskets, 12-inch patio pots. It's PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center. They have tropical hibiscus mandevilla plants. They had a huge Mother's Day weekend. Look for them on Facebook. It's Steve and Debbie and Junior and Byron. It's PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center, 3688 Quaker Lane in North Kingstown. They're right off of Route 4. All right, 107. We are also live on Facebook. Good afternoon, everyone. Tonight on FB, I'll be riding with Mark. I need to come up with a nickname for that. And then this Friday night, confirmed, Cranston PD Live, 8 to 10. 8 to 10 this Friday. And there will be a watch party at Ted Stadium. So I am going to talk about, there is breaking news coming out of Cranston. I'm going to touch on that. I want to thank everyone that came to the Charlotte Lester Vigil last night. I am going to get into this Rachel Rollins story that's exploding. But the Drudge Report has just unleashed something that this is different. Fox News preparing to announce ambitious new schedule. Drudge Report. Schedule every hour of prime time will change. It's our boldest, most fearless lineup ever. Hannity, Fox News Showcase moves to 8 o'clock. Jesse Waters, Gutfeld get prime time. So I want to just Drudge Report, Hannity to replace Tucker. Now, I've known Sean Hannity for over 25 years. I worked with him. He's been kind enough to have me on my program. I just had him on my program. He's getting the 8 o'clock slot. I think that's interesting. Listen, you can't argue with the success that Sean has had. No question about it. And nice guy. Super nice guy. But program's a little predictable. New schedule. Hannity's new gig, and reports Jesse Waters and Greg Gutfeld are headed to prime time. So does that mean, now we don't, Waters currently hosts, Gutfeld's on at 11, Jesse Waters is at 7. So how about Hannity broke, I didn't know this, the longest running cable news primetime show, eclipsing Larry King, 25 years, 6 months, 15 days. They're going to announce a new schedule. No decisions has been made, but I think you can kind of read between the lines. So maybe, I don't know, maybe Laura Ingraham is moving to 7 o'clock. Unknown. But without question, that will be huge if they shuffle the lineup. I think, and now, again, Drudge Report is breaking this. I know, one thing I do know, Sean Hannity and Matt Drudge go way back. Way back. They were friendly during the years that, during the Clinton, Monica Lewinsky escapades. So, but this is huge that, and it's through Fox that Hannity seemingly now, and they obviously really like Gutfeld. And if you're a fan of Gutfeld, and if you're Fox, I'm sure they're thinking, okay, it's doing really well at 11. Can you imagine it would do even better at 10 o'clock? So that's my guess. That it sounds like Jesse Waters may move to 9 o'clock. Gutfeld to 10. Unless they're going to move Gutfeld to 9. I don't know. But that is huge news regarding big shakeup with Fox. And the Hannity to 8 o'clock is interesting because then they're going to stop all of this. He had to follow O'Reilly. Then Hannity was moved back to 10, right, when Megyn Kelly took over at 9 o'clock. And suddenly now they're announcing that Hannity's going to get that slot. So that's huge. And maybe they've decided this is going to be the new lineup. But it's big. I don't know what the source is. Drudge would not put this. If the Drudge Report, there's no way they're wrong on this. There's no way the Drudge Report is wrong on this. In order for them to do this, Hannity Fox News Showcase moves to 8 o'clock. I don't know what to make of that, other than people are not watching TV later into the night. So maybe Sean Hannity doesn't want to move to 7, so he wants that 8 o'clock slot. I think that's an interesting dynamic to move that. Now, I want to stay on schedule. We have a lot to report. I'm going to touch on the situation Cranston and also the Rachel Rollins story. And I am going to talk about the Charlotte Lester case from last night as well. Excuse me, as far as the vigil. And thank you everyone that came, or at least watched it. As I said, not everyone can come. And that's fine. And I identify that, by the way. I want people to understand that. Because people are always saying you should do, people saying a lot, and I'm not insulted by it. But you should do, have a night where people come and you do stand-up, or, this whole thing of the comedy bus. But the fact of the matter is, when it comes to live streaming, or even listening to the radio, I've learned I don't need people to come see me at an event. All I need them to do is watch or listen. Watch or listen. So I'm content with that. As long as people watch. And we had a lot of people watching that vigil last night. And something very significant happened. But I'm going to touch on this Cranston situation with some news that's coming out of there in just a moment. Folks, this portion of the John DePetro Show, it's brought to you by AtMed Urgent Care. 2 locations, 1524 Atwood Avenue in Johnston, right in the Atwood Medical Center, 5750 Post Road, East Greenwich. Remember, when you need urgent care, it's AtMed Urgent Care, right? Boom, doctors and nurses, 7 days a week. This is where you want to go. If you want to wait hours at a hospital emergency room, that's your business. That's your choice. I implore you and suggest instead you visit AtMed Urgent Care. Now, this situation with the city council person in Cranston. Now, I was covering, so it's right now it's Wednesday, it's 1:14. I also just want, before I touch on the Cranston thing, this business, they were involved in a car chase. Why are they shaking Meghan Markle, Prince Harry involved, near fatal paparazzi chase in New York City? Why are they racing around? You gave up your title. You're just a private citizen. You can't be involved in this. A 2-hour paparazzi chase in New York City? Traveling with Meghan Markle's mother? Pursued by photographers after leaving the Ziegfeld Theater? The trio left the event in SUV 10 o'clock, followed by 12 paparazzi. They decided to ditch their original vehicle, jumped into a yellow cab in hopes of evading photographers. One cameraman hit a car while another almost ran over a police officer during the near-fatal car chase. But why are they racing around anyway? You're not going to outrace them. It started off with 12 paparazzi, ended up with 4 chasing. The security tried their best to lose the photographers. Once in the taxi, Harry used his cell phone to record the ensuing melee. Security was also recording. Paparazzi were confronted by uniformed police officers, ignored warnings, continued chasing the trio. You let police handle that, though. Like, this is a matter for the mayor of New York. This is a matter of the New York City police. This business of a near catastrophic car chase, which brings up, of course, what happened to Diana in Paris. But, like, why are you racing around? I don't know what to tell you. Come up with a better system then. Why are you trying to outrun them? They're going to follow you to your hotel. The 2 of them are just lost. I didn't see this. Key attorney for President Trump departing as Mar-a-Lago probe intensifies. I didn't see this earlier, but I was at the funeral for Ian from Cranston, and then I I covered the Cranston police thing. So, all right, I'm unfamiliar with this name, Timothy Pell. All right, let me get to what I was going to mention, because I do want to get to the Rachel Collins situation, and that is this situation with this city councilman from Cranston. Seems to be going from bad to worse, and from what I'm told is, so obviously I was chatting with various people. Right now at 117, here's what you need to know about this situation regarding the city council person in Cranston, who I have interviewed. I have video of him. I interviewed him last fall, and he did resign now. He was the head of the Cranston GOP chair. But it was Monday morning, Matt Riley was arrested. They had a crack cocaine pipe and fentanyl right in a salon parking lot, Pontiac Avenue. Found unconscious, a glass pipe lighter, white rock substance, tested positive, cocaine, fentanyl. Now, he was apparently heading to court, but what you need to know, so he did resign from that. I know the mayor now, Mayor Hopkins, is being asked, do you think he should step down? I mean, I don't know, other than Backus got nailed in Warwick on the DUI, and then they dismissed the charge against her. I don't think that's happening in Cranston. But what you need to know at 119 is I am pretty confident that I'm going to have the body cam footage of the arrest of City Councilor Matt Riley before the end of the day. And we'll have it. I'll probably post it on the YouTube channel. Follow us on YouTube, John depetro Show, and then we'll have links on Facebook and then also on the website, depetro.com. I don't know what to make of it, and I know there's other people going into stories about him. I was unaware when I interviewed him. I don't remember exactly when I interviewed him. I probably could pull it up. But I interviewed him because he spoke up. Oh wow, he's still all right. So he's still on Facebook. He I don't know where he is. I don't know exactly what's going on. But I interviewed him and Nicole Renzulli when they were objecting to that Governor McKee was going to put all those homeless at, Governor McKee wanted to put them in Cranston. And, okay, I'm pretty sure I mean, I know I did, and it was sometime back in the fall. I don't remember exactly when it was, but I'll find that. But anyhow, so I know there's some reports about him today, and it seems to be, as I heard, that the story seemingly is getting worse, not better. And some of his actions. I at the time when I talked to him in the fall, I mean, I didn't know that obviously that he was going through whatever he was going through. But what I did want to mention is I believe we will have the body cam footage later today regarding this Matt Riley councilman. Hey, if anything, something to keep in mind. The Cranston police saved his life. The Cranston police saved his life because he seemingly was overdosing and was unconscious. That's why someone called and flagged over a Cranston police officer who happened to be going by when that whole thing happened. Now, I will have it on the website, depetro.com, which is brought to you by the Coesit Inn, 226 Coesit Avenue, West Warwick. Folks, lunch, dinner, drinks, lounge, waiting for you at the Coesit Inn. And if you go log on to the website, depetro.com, where I think that's probably where we're going to have the body cam footage. You can see we have all the latest stories. Charlotte Lester, 1 year later. Obviously, the Cranston PD Live episodes. Coventry Police, that was last Thursday. We have the Carbuncle Pond. We have unique stories and videos. It's all at the website, depetro.com. All right, before I talk about the Rachel Rollins case, and this is also new details coming out. This is another form. This is someone who should not have been in the position that they were in. This portion of the John DePetro Show is brought by Falcon Pest Services. Listen, whether it is ants or roaches or mice, unwanted pests, Falcon Pest Services, serving Rhode Island and Massachusetts, termites, bedbugs, ants, roaches, mice, rats, mosquitoes. Call today. Call John and Kelly at Falcon Pest Services. Do you need a good exterminator? I found them. They're fantastic. Locally owned. Call them 401-739-1322. And they have a tremendous opportunity for the right person. Falcon Pest Services. Locally owned and operated since 2006. Call today. Free consultation. 401-739-1322. And remember, with Falcon Pest Services, maybe it is they come out once a year. Maybe they come out once a quarter. Maybe they come out once a week. Maybe they come out once a month. You know, whether you're looking for one-time treatment, monthly service, quarterly service, year-round protection. Falcon, Falcon, Falcon Pest Services. And whether it's for an apartment or a home or a condo or office building, it can happen. Restaurant, whatever. Falcon Pest Services, 401-739-1322. Right now it's 1:24. You're listening to the John DePetro Show. It's AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. I do want to thank everyone of who came out last night. There was the vigil. By the way, I also just want to mention, you're seeing people talk about this melee on Federal Hill. We were the first ones that posted that on Mother's Day. I was the first one that had that on the Facebook page. We'd heard about it, but we were the first ones to have that. And then you're seeing that the other news outlets then start to slowly pick up on the story. Now, I'm going to talk about Rachel Rollins in just a moment, because the news is fast and developing. But one of the most important things last night was when Kathy Wilson got up and spoke. And if you heard it, I mean, I do have the live stream. It's on demand. It's right on the Facebook page. It's also on YouTube, by the way, and Spotify. We'll have it up on the website. But you could find it. But I think the most significant part was when, in fact, Kathy said she believes the police have found their suspect following a weeks-long investigation at the Perkins home on Staples Avenue. Now, police won't say why they were there. I've told you why they were there, because they found the blood of Charlotte Lester in the home. But last night, if you watched it or were there, when Kathy said, "We believe you got the right guy," she said, and there were 4 police officers there, which was also significant. You weren't at that house up on the hill for a month for no reason. Think about that. So that was a year ago. Charlotte Lester was last seen alive, heading up, leaving the area we were last night, heading up the hill, Staples Avenue. She said, "We believe in your efforts and know you're going to get where you need to be." Captain John McNiff would not give any more details on the case, of which they haven't done. But I'm telling you, it ties in with the mattress, and it ties in with the blood, her blood that was found in the home. Because as I have said in the past, you know, police, when they got search warrants and then took over that house for a month, 24/7, they had to show a judge that here's why we need to be in that house. And a judge had to sign off on it. Now, keep in mind, the attorney for Perkins at any time could have challenged it. So the judge has to feel, okay, this evidence is warranted that they're going to be there and make sure that it's going to, stand up. So that's how significant it is. Now, I'm going to tell you about Rachel Rollins. But folks, this portion of the program on this Wednesday is brought to you by the Lodge Pub and Eatery. Hey, Celtics are on tonight. You know what would be a great place to watch the game? Right in the lounge at the Lodge Pub and Eatery. Delicious food. Now remember, it's a restaurant. You can eat there, but then they also have the lounge area. They have the deck right off of 146, 40 Breakneck Hill Road in Lincoln. It's always a great crowd, and the food is delicious at the Lodge Pub and Eatery. And their big anniversary is coming up next year, since 1994. So that'll be huge. But people love it there. And every time I go, every time I visit there and eat there, the food is always terrific at the Lodge Pub and Eatery, 40 Breakneck Hill Road in Lincoln. Right now, 128 on this Wednesday. If you haven't had lunch or people go for dinner, can accommodate big groups, they're waiting for you at the Lodge Pub and Eatery, 40 Breakneck Hill Road in Lincoln. So think of that. Next year will be their 30th anniversary. Now, Rachel Rollins. Wow. Whew. I'm deeply concerned by her misconduct, says Senator Dick Durbin, chairman of the Judiciary Committee. The resignation is not enough. Newly released federal reports fault Rachel Rollins' conduct as U.S. Attorney for Massachusetts. She belongs in a jail cell. Rachel Rollins belongs in a jail cell. The finding of two federal agencies, ethics investigation, U.S. Attorney Rachel Rollins of Massachusetts was released. Some insight why she abruptly plans to resign after just 16 months in office. She, as the chief federal law enforcement officer of Massachusetts, let me be very clear, she never should have been put into the job. This is another strike against the Biden administration. 161-page report from the Justice Department faulted Rachel Rollins, multiple fronts, leaking non-public Department of Justice information, working to influence the election for the Suffolk District Attorney, attending a partisan political fundraiser without approval. I'm not so concerned about that. And lying about a conversation she had with a reporter. Probably par for the course. She should go to jail. Rollins' actions were also examined by the Office of Special Counsel, investigating violations of the Hatch Act. They say her violations of the Hatch Act have the worst they've ever come across. They faulted her for attending a Democrat fundraiser with Joe Biden and for attempting to sabotage the campaign of DA Kevin Hayden, who sought to replace Rollins as Suffolk District Attorney. Rollins' multiple knowing, willfully serious violations warrant disciplinary action, it concluded. Dick Durbin, Illinois Democrat, who fought hard for her confirmation as U.S. Attorney, said the report and the resignation indicate strong potential there was wrongdoing, and not only supports her decision to step down, she should go on trial for all this. She needs to be held to the same standards of professional conduct any other U.S. attorney. The president trusted her. The Senate trusted her. She disappointed all of us. During a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing today, U.S. Senator Tom Cotton, big critic of hers, said her resignation in disgrace is welcome news. According to the report, she allegedly leaked non-public information about Kevin Hayden, her eventual successor as Suffolk DA, to the Boston Herald while he was locked in a bruising primary battle with City Councilor Ricardo Arroyo, whom the document described as her preferred candidate at the rate, who's a huge progressive. The report alleged she provided the campaign with advice, coordinated with him on activities for his campaign, and provided news outlets, including the Globe, with negative information on the opponent Hayden. Arroyo told reporters at City Hall he had not read either report. I don't believe that. He can't respond to specific details. He could. Arroyo said, I find this all sad before rushing off to a city council meeting. Rachel's someone who's a friend. He added his race against Hayden suffered from a number of illegal leaks from different directions. Yeah, that he was getting. The evidence showed Rollins used her position as a U.S. attorney to unsuccessfully create the impression publicly before the primary election that the Department of Justice was or would be investigating Hayden for public corruption. She belongs in jail, Rachel Rollins. She also allegedly lied under oath when questioned about the matter, denying that she was the leak of the sensitive information. That's perjury. She only admitted to being the source during subsequent testimony after Rollins produced relevant text messages, which definitely showed Rollins had indeed been a source for the reporter and disclosed to him the memorandum quoted in the story. The report said Rollins also attended the Joe Biden thing. I mean, I'm not saying it's not serious, but Rollins solicited 30 free tickets for the Celtics to attend a Celtics game. Never should have been in the role. It began in January after extensive partisan political battle, where Vice President Harris, of course, cast the tie-breaking vote that confirmed her appointment. Yeah, because they're two and the same. They're like the same person. What? I mean, she's a criminal. She's a liar. She shouldn't have been in the job. And she should get jail time for perjury. And the fact that, I don't know the full element. This was a story in the Herald. Rachel Rollins recused as Fed's Eye Suffolk DA Kevin Hayden in MBTA transit police case. So, Sean Philip Carter, I don't know who he is, from the Herald. This was September 11th of last year. So she leaked the information right to him, and I believe he rolled over and identified her as the source. Typical of the Herald. U.S. Attorney Rachel Rollins sought receive recusal, possible federal review of Kevin Hayden's actions and those of his top deputy in a case involving transit police. She leaked all of that. What an absolute disgrace. Now, we'll have more on this tomorrow with our legal expert, Attorney Tim Dodd. But this is someone, folks, to me at 1:35, good afternoon. You're listening to the John depetro Show on AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. This is like the birds of a feather. Rachel Rollins. I mean, how else do we have to map it out? Was she chosen for her competency? No. She never should have been put in that position. Who cast the tie-breaking vote? Kamala Harris. Senator Cotton, all the people against her were 100% on the money. What an absolute embarrassment. Not only a disgrace, but she should do jail time. And earlier I played that sound of her going after members of the media. Wow. Just completely disgraceful. Let me see if okay, I wasn't sure if there was an editorial about her, but it's also interesting. The Globe had an editorial. Did the Varsity Blues prosecution really belong in federal court? The parents' actions were sleazy, but hardly rose to the level of crimes against the United States. Folks, I also want to mention at 136, put me in the category of those that want to reform the FBI. I've been a supporter of the FBI. I have, dealt with the FBI on and off in my role as a member of the media for the better part of about 24 years. And I'll say that I find a lot of their actions not only troubling, but I don't understand, and I think it's not justified that they don't have to operate the way other agencies do. They don't. They're not transparent. They take forever on a case. It needs to be reformed. It does. I'm not saying go away, but the lack of transparency from, quote, the FBI, I've soured on them. In the past, I used to defend them, but no longer. And this is going to be a good test. Folks, you're seeing right now, hear me out at 137. You have three high-profile people, granted, all different. But you have Karen Backus, charges dropped, DUI in Warwick. She was caught DUI and assaulted a police officer. And the city of Warwick dropped the charges. I know some people are posting, typical, Rhode Island thing. You can't blame the state on this. You can't blame the Warwick police on this. They did their job. Where's the mayor on this whole thing? That is the city of Warwick that chose to drop the DUI and drop the assault charge. Period. It's interesting, the tale of two cities side by side. Matt Riley, did Cranston police say, get him out of here? Cut him? No. Nope. And they, from what I understand, I'm pretty confident I'm in the body cam video later. No, they did not in any way. Nope. Burville, city councilor, involved allegedly in a hit and run. They didn't sweep it under the rug. You have the people like the McKee people that are always trying to sweep everything under the rug. And then, the Cranston police. The guy's got crack cocaine and a pipe and fentanyl. Boom. He's in a jail cell. He's arrested. Period. Doesn't matter. He's an attorney. He's on the city council. He's the head of the Cranston Republicans. Too bad. Laws apply evenly. Rachel Rollins should receive the full penalty of the law. She should be indicted. She's committed perjury. She should go to jail. Never should have been put in that job. And then you have Backus in Cranston. That's an embarrassment in the city of Warwick. The police did their job. What more are the police supposed to do? Warwick City Council person Karen Backus clearly annihilated driving. As many of you know, right, had an accident, relieved herself in the back of the squad car, kept dropping, hey, I'm a state worker, I'm on the school committee, and then lunged at and struck a Warwick police officer. It is inexcusable that the charges against her have been dropped. Period, end of story. But so much of this is going to come down to the people of Warwick. People should be outraged by that. Why is she skating on the DUI? Skating on the DUI? Case is dropped? Totally unsatisfactory. Really, really pathetic. Terrible. What a message that sends. That tells me that Poopy Pants Backus, she knew exactly what she was doing. Now I'm going to touch on again the Charlotte Lester vigil last night, where things stand. Folks, this portion of the John depetro Show is brought to you by Propane Plus. Remember, for all your propane needs, call them today, 401-885-4209. Propane Plus, Massachusetts, 508-252-3359 for Propane Plus. Heating and cooling, Propane Plus, 3 generations. They're available 24/7. They are wildly efficient. They're there to serve you. You can depend on Propane Plus. Heating, cooling, call Propane Plus today. Call them in Rhode Island for all your propane needs. You use propane, you want to go with Propane Plus. 401-885-4209. And in Massachusetts, 508-252-3359 for Propane Plus. Well, folks, good afternoon. Again, you're listening to the John depetro Show on AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. Boy, that is some big news again. Repeating, I think the biggest news is that it really sounds like Fox is going to completely move around their primetime lineup. And, I don't know. Laura Ingraham, I'm going to guess they're going to move her to 7. That's my guess. Unless, It sounds like the primetime lineup is, I'm guessing now, Greg Gutfeld at 10, and Jesse Waters being moved to 9, and Hannity being moved to 8. That is my guess. But as much as they talk about the showcase of Fox primetime, just keep in mind that the 5 is the number one watch show. By the way, coming up on Friday, Judge Janine will be a guest on the show. Judge Janine will be our guest this Friday on the John depetro Show. Folks, again, you're listening to the John depetro Show. Good afternoon, everyone. 1:42 on this Wednesday. Notice how I casually mentioned that. So Friday night, Cranston PD Live. Tonight, first one on the scene live stream. I will be out, Mark riding, and then driving. And then Friday, Judge Janine, our legal expert attorney Tim Dodd tomorrow. I also want to thank getting a lot of positive feedback. I like listening to Rep. John Brian. He's an independent. I think he deserves a bigger platform. He is, I have a lot of respect for the rep. He, talk about call him like he sees them. He's like an umpire. I think it also speaks volumes that he's moved to independent. Because, like we've talked about, the Democrat Party, especially in Rhode Island, right now, they're just completely reactionary to the whims of the progressives. The whims of the progressives. What's this other story? A Warren teen accused of having a ghost gun, selling marijuana in vape cartridges to a group of high school students last year has been indicted. Well, he should have a nice time in prison. They're going to love him. A young male with wavy hair that I am fully confident in a dim light at the ACI, he could almost resemble a female. They're waiting for him, that's for sure. 19 years old. How about that? Should be a very enjoyable experience in Cranston. They start an investigation, Mount Hope High School. Possible sale of marijuana THC vape cartridges. He is the suspect. Started to watch his home. Indicated the sale of drugs. Search warrant, ghost gun, $51,000 in cash. Marijuana, drug paraphernalia. Arrested this morning, being held without bail. He's going to face the judge in June. Well, what's his name again? I really like, folks, how about Peter Nerona is speaking out about Rachel Rollins, the Rhode Island Attorney General, speaking out about Rachel Rollins. I haven't read the Inspector General's report yet, but this conduct as reported is astounding, and provided it's accurate. As a former U.S. attorney, I can't imagine how anyone in that position could think this conduct was appropriate. She is an embarrassment. She is a complete disgrace. The Justice Department, 161-page report, tried to influence the outcome of who's going to be the next DA. What a disgrace that Rachel Rollins is. Complete disgrace, as a matter of fact. Not enough. Hey, you know what? She needs to be held accountable. Period. She needs to be held accountable. Now, I want to touch on the Charlotte Lester case. Folks, good afternoon at 1:46. You're listening to the John depetro Show. It's AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. This portion of our program, 401 cuts. Look for them on Facebook. Still time. Do a spring blowout, spring cleanup. Get that property in order. They can maintain your property, residential or commercial. Local company, 401 cuts. Look for them on Facebook. Katrina and Josh, family-run business. I highly recommend them to you. 401 cuts. And I also want to mention Limitless Outdoors. You want to utilize your outside space. Call Limitless Outdoors today, 401-580-1852. 401-580-1852. Limitless Outdoors. They specialize in patios, walkways, steps, outdoor kitchens. landscape lighting, retaining walls, lawn installation, excavation, limitless outdoors. How about a fire pit? How about an outdoor fireplace? You could brick oven pizza. Limitless outdoors. Remember Chris's slogan, located right in Smithfield. Dream, build, enjoy. 401-580-1852. It starts with a discussion how you want to use your outdoor space, and then they can design your outdoor space, fit your aesthetic and lifestyle. Limitless Outdoors, 401-580-1852. So a very busy news day, folks. Good afternoon. You're listening to the John depetro Show. It's AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. I think the Rachel Rollins story, and I believe it's just beginning. And again, we'll have more on this when we talk tomorrow with our Thursday. We do a segment with our legal expert. It is attorney Tim Dodd. But what I'm noticing here, and you have to look at, is just how I'm going to start with how aggressively the Boston Globe is. There's no one covering for her. There's no one covering for her. And the Globe is going full throttle. Rollins, whose resignation was announced Monday, 2 federal government ethics probes. The report slams Rollins. We found her conduct described through the report violated federal regulations, numerous DOJ policies, her ethics agreement, applicable law, fell far short of the standards of professionalism, much less a U.S. attorney, any employee. Rollins' abuse of her power within the federal justice system. There's no mitigating factors that would warrant outcome short of disciplinary action. It also refers the violations to the president for appropriate action. Trying to help someone, that city councilor, progressive, who lost in the primary in September. The Inspector General reports that at a critical stage of the primary, Rollins used her position as U.S. attorney and information available to her, try to create an impression publicly they'd be investigating him for public corruption. What a disgrace she is. She'll look good in an orange jumpsuit. She also, of course, attended. Now, I'm not trying to downplay. She attended that fundraiser. We therefore concluded she attended a partisan political fundraiser without approval. I still think that's not as bad. It did violate the Hatch Act, going to this DNC fundraiser in Andover, while on duty, in her official capacity, using a government vehicle, made false statements when they were interviewing her, the Inspector General's office. Rollins lacked candor, totally corrupt with her communication with the reporters during the primary battle, knowingly, willfully made a false statement, material fact, under oath. She later acknowledged she was the source of the Boston Herald article intended to damage his candidacy. Of course, the Herald went with it. What a complete disgrace. She is a criminal. Rollins violated federal public laws, required her to permanently store all her official communication, any text messages, blah, blah, blah. She used her private cell phone to text staff members 1,700 times, but used the department-issued cell phone just 30 text messages. Rollins also texted top FBI officials using her private cell phone 146 times last year. What is this? Who was the tie-breaking vote to make Rachel Rollins the U.S. Attorney for Massachusetts? Vice President Kamala Harris, exactly. Accepted Celtics tickets, solicited Celtics tickets. She also accepted private payments, 2 trips, California, New York. Terrible. Found Rollins called a live radio show December 19th, discussing the upcoming sentencing of a defendant in a federal case that she was recused from. She made an impulsive decision, demonstrated poor judgment. Given Rowland's own explanation, she was unfamiliar with both the defendant and the criminal case. She exercised poor judgment. She participated with elected officials from one party in a press conference May 3rd of last year, reacting to a leak of the draft of the Supreme Court. Folks, what you have to know about Rachel Rollins is she was the progressive hero. She is the woman of color. She is the progressive. Never should have been put in that job. Completely abuse of power. And now she should pay. I mean, I just don't recall the last time we had someone in that type of position. The Rhode Island U.S. Attorney, Zach Kuna, I saw him today. He attended the Cranston memorial. But, no one's really mentioned anything even close to that. So now I am interested to see what's going to happen. Divided Rhode Island Senate Committee sends abortion coverage bill to the Senate floor. Well, in my mind, the fact that it made it out of the committee 7-6 basically would tell you then now it's going to pass. To me, something like that, if it's going to fail, it's going to fail in not making it out of committee. But there's no way anyone's going to stand up now with that crowd at the Rhode Island State House. Once it makes it out of committee, very, very difficult to stop. Is it wrong? Of course it's wrong. Of course it's wrong. But absolutely no doubt, unfortunately, I don't see how that, if it was going to be stopped, as I said, it would have been stopped in committee. Makes its way out of committee. We've seen how this generally plays out. Folks, right now at 1:54, good afternoon. So I think big news of the day is this Drudge Report scoop of, they wouldn't be running with this, that Hannity on Fox is being moved to 8 o'clock, and it sounds like Jesse Waters and Greg Gutfeld are going to fill out. I'm going to guess Jesse Waters at 9 and Gutfeld at 10. So I don't know what they're going to do with Laura Ingraham. Other than, do they give someone the 7 o'clock slot that Jesse Waters has? Do they move Laura Ingraham to 11? Do they move her to 7? I don't know. But the Hannity to the 8 o'clock slot, he, and again, the thing about Sean Hannity is, he has been there since its inception. I first met Sean Hannity. He arrived in New York. He was talking about this new show. He was talking about Fox News Channel. In Manhattan, you couldn't even get Fox News Channel. And then he started doing, I knew him when he was actually doing the radio show at night after the TV show. So, but he's been there from the very beginning, since 1996, when Fox News Channel came on. Remember, it used to be Hannity and Combs. So that'll be big, I think. And the thing about Fox that you have to admire is look how bold they are, right? They don't have to redo their lineup. This means, Gutfeld's on the rise. Jesse Waters is on the rise. It's huge for them, and Hannity's going to be the mainstay at this point. Admittedly, I don't really watch his program. It's a little redundant. It's on message, right? It's definitely consistent. But I don't really watch that. But they are definitely gearing up. That's a pretty solid primetime lineup. And I think they want to stop any type of gains from Newsmax that they potentially could make in that 8 o'clock hour. Putting Hannity 8 to 9 on Fox, that is a strong hill, right? It is. And that's going to be, the thing about Hannity from 8 to 9 is it's not going to be huge numbers. but it's going to be consistent numbers across the board. And I think the Hannity show from 8 to 9 will be, very acceptable to the Fox audience, who is also the Tucker audience. So, folks, this portion of the John DePetro show, let me just check the time, at 1:57 on this Wednesday, May 17th, is brought to you by the Lodge Pub and Eatery, 40 Breakneck Hill Road in Lincoln. Hey, right now, if you're listening to the program on AM 1380 or 99.9 FM, you could pop in. Tonight, they will have the Celtics game in the lounge. Should be interesting. Eastern Conference Finals, Game 1, Celtics against Miami. This is going to come down. It's going to be pretty simple. Can the Celtics stop Jimmy Butler? The Heat can't win if Jimmy Butler drops, 20 points. If he drops 50 points, the Celtics have a problem. And then conversely, if you're the Heat, they have to try to find a way to stop Jason Tatum. So, and folks, tomorrow and Friday, I will talk a little bit about the Taylor Swift show that's coming into Gillette. It's, I know maybe some people listening that are going to it, but it's really remarkable that Taylor Swift is just, it's so the number one act in the world right now. And regardless whether you're familiar with her music or not familiar, think of this just for a moment. And again, we've seen people on top, right, when they're touring. But in Philadelphia, she sold out the stadium. So the stadium is sold out. But 20,000 people were standing outside the stadium just to be part of it and just to then hear the music coming out. I mean, you never had anything like that, right? I've seen the Rolling Stones at Foxborough Stadium, and it was sold out, but you didn't have a big crowd there. I've seen Bruce there. I've seen U2 there, but you've never had an act like this. Never had an act like this. All right, it's 1:59. Coming up will be the 2 o'clock news. I will be doing Facebook later. Folks, check out the website, depetro.com. We're back on the radio tomorrow at 11. Facebook Live later tonight. Cranston PD Live this Friday night, 8 to 10. Judge Janine from the 5 will be my guest this Friday right here on the radio show. It's John DePetro. Again, the big news, Rachel Rollins in a lot of trouble in Mass, and Fox is redoing the lineup. I should have the Cranston body cams by the end of the day. Back. Stay tuned for the 2 o'clock news.